So you trying to get your P status. So you trying to be pushing P. So you trying to be a specialist with the P in front. You trying to be P.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
That's perfect because I got 4 easy steps. I'm talking about super easy steps. That's gonna help you pass the board to help you get to that P status. I would know because I passed mine first time go, and that was it. Went in there, passed it, boom, immediately got that P status, and then eventually went to BLC and got this. Now I'm just trying to get a third one. The first step is to master your knowledge. And when I say master your knowledge, that means like literally learn everything that they might ask you. Like learn, like study, not just study to study, not just study for like an hour. I mean, study like everything. And you probably like how do it's too much stuff to study. Like how do I narrow it down into like what I actually need to study, like step by step. So basically, it's gonna be a couple of non-negotiables that you have to know before you even go in there, and then there's some other stuff that you can get away with not knowing. So the non-negotiables that you need to know is first the NCO creed. You're gonna have to know that. If you don't know that, don't even walk in there. The 7 Army values, you should learn that in basic. And then the soldier's creed. Those are like 3 non-negotiables. You have to know those backwards and fronts before you even step foot in there, because they ask you, if you walk in there and they ask you that and you get one of those wrong, the chances of you passing is like it's slim to none. You have to know those. Those are the non-negotiables, in my opinion, that you have to know before you walk in there. And then there's the other stuff to study, like the ARs, the TCs, and all that. But before you get to like the ARs, the TCs, and the MOI, before you get to like the ARs, TCs, regulation, all that stuff, the main thing you want to study is your units MOI. If you don't know what the MOI is, that's basically like your unit, before they have a board, they'll put out a MOI, which is literally, it's a cheat sheet. It has literally everything that's gonna be on the board. So the 2 main things actually that you need to study is NCO creed. You need to know the NCO creed, and know the Army values, and know the soldier's creed, and then know everything in the MOI. That's what you need to like study deeply right there. Other stuff, like some stuff you can get away with not knowing, like some of the ARs, some of the random ARs, some of the situational questions, like you might can get those wrong, but the main things that you have to like know, has to be drilled into your head, is what I just listed off. Like how do you learn all this? How do you study to where it stays? You have to study all day. You have to study all day, every day, constantly, like from when you wake up to when you go to bed. And literally, yes, you have to, even after you like get it, even after you like know the NCO creed, you have to study it some more. Like keep on studying it up until you go to the board, because once you get to the board, it's not gonna be like you're studying in your room. It's gonna be you having to say it and explain it. How do you learn all this? How do you study all this? Study every single day. Step 2, practice under pressure. So the board is going to be nerve-wracking, like 100%. It's going to be nerve-wracking. I don't care about people who was like capping and saying, "Oh, I wasn't scared of the board." Like that's cap. I don't believe you. Because at first I wasn't scared. I mean, at first I wasn't nervous, but then I started getting nervous, like once I walked in there. But so you're gonna get nervous in there a little bit. So to prepare yourself for that, so you don't shut down during the board, is you need to do mock boards. Now your NCOs should do a official mock board before you actually go to your board. And the mock board is like, it's just them and like a few other NCOs, and they make it like the board, make you have to do like all the procedures and everything. But it's not going to count against you if you mess something up. They want to see like what you're going to mess up during that, so then when you do the actual board, you can not do that. Do like mock boards even before you do the official mock board. Before the board, do like little fake boards with just like your NCO, like your first line, just like your first line. Just do like little fake boards or whatever, where they just come in, you just come in, they ask you questions, and then you do the procedures like a real board. So once you get to the actual board, it won't have blown your mind. And what really help too is if you go to like a soldier in a month board or some other type of board before the board. Like if you did a board before, that's what I did. That's gonna help you 100%, because you understand like how a board works, what to expect. So you're just not going in there blind and nervous and like from hearing all the horror stories and everything. Part of the step 2, the practice under pressure, is while you're practicing like with the fake boards and like the fake quizzing or whatever from NCOs, you need to work on your body language, because that is like a big part of like going into a board. It's like you don't even realize it. When I was doing this, I was doing like little fake mock boards. I'd be answering like my NCO's question. I'd be standing at parade rest, but I'd be answering it like NCO creed. Like I'm moving around like while I'm answering it, but I didn't even realize I was moving, because they'd be like, "Yo, stop moving." And I'd be like, I was at parade rest the whole time. Like, no, you're moving like this, and you don't even realize it because you get nervous and you're thinking or whatever. The body language part is gonna be huge because you obviously cannot be messing up your body language. They're gonna see you messing up your body language at the board. They're gonna think you're nervous and they're gonna start applying more pressure, more heat. So yeah, work on the body language now when it's not even when you're doing the fake board, the mock board. So the 3, and it's one of the most important ones, is confidence, bro. And it ties into the first one, which is master your knowledge. Because if you master your knowledge and you got all of the knowledge of like what they could even ask you, then obviously you're gonna be confident. If you're gonna be less confident if you don't know everything that you're supposed to know going into it. So 3 is confidence. Me personally, I wasn't nervous up until I walked into there. So we're sitting outside, we're waiting to do the board, like me and all the other people going. All of them like starting to get nervous, whatever. They starting to like tick and move and everything as they're like waiting to get called up to the door. I wasn't nervous the night before. I wasn't nervous that morning. I wasn't nervous even when I was waiting in that line right there. But then once I actually knocked on the door and then I walked in and I like saw all of them, like all the sergeant majors looking at me like, that's when it actually kind of hit me. I started getting like a little bit nervous. I'm not gonna lie. Basically, to keep your confidence during that is to know your stuff. So like I said in the first step, like literally know everything. If you know everything going in there, then you can't be nervous because it's like, I know it. And I know it. I just gotta let y'all know that I know it. So know your stuff and then breathe. Like literally like before, like minutes before you go in there, just breathe, you know what I'm saying? Get your blood pressure down, and then when you actually walk in there, do the same thing. Just breathe calmly, because when you actually walk in there, that's probably like when it's gonna be like the spike of like the nervousness. But so if you just breathe, like as soon as you walk in there, you just stay calm the whole time, and also like take a little bit of the seriousness away. Like, and it's gonna sound kind of weird, it sound kind of counterintuitive, but like I took some of the seriousness away from it because I was like, if I fail, like I just failed, bro. That's kind of like funny, low key. At the end of the day, right? You failed, you got nervous, and you failed, bro. It's not funny. Like it's not funny. Like why you doing it? Like you thinking like I don't want to do that, but like it kind of is. So I just took a little bit of the seriousness away. I was still trying to like pass it or whatever, but also it's like if I fail, like I just failed the board. This next month. 4, think on your feet. Expect. That basically means expect the unexpected. Basically, you get like a little analogy of this, like. Game 7 of the NBA Finals in 2016, the Cleveland Cavaliers went to play the Warriors or whatever. And at the beginning of the game, the first quarter of the Game 7, Draymond Green came out the gates and he was just knocking down threes. He was like laying up the ball. He was going crazy like on offense, which was not what he usually does, and that was extremely unexpected for the Cavaliers. But they didn't start panicking. They didn't start like. They didn't like lose themselves. They expected the unexpected, because that was unexpected. Draymond Green coming out there and like doing something. They expected the unexpected. They stayed calm, cool, and collected, and they won that game. So basically, long story short, like expect stuff to not go right, but you still have to like be able to pass it, even though it's not going right. Mine personally, when I went to my board, I told you I walked in. That's when I got nervous. I was good up until I opened the door and I walked in and all their eyes just looking at me like this. So I walked in. They didn't even start doing nothing at first. I was just sitting right there at attention, and they were like eating Chick-fil-A. Like there was a whole bunch of Chick-fil-A on the little table that they got right there, and like they were just eating. I guess somebody like brought it in for them because they were just sitting at the table all day. They were just eating Chick-fil-A, and I was low-key trying not to laugh, but also kind of like, what's going on here? Like, I'm supposed to be doing my board and y'all just over here eating. But I don't know. I think they're like trying to like distract me or like make me like get me out of my element or whatever. But I was ready to expect the unexpected. So I know y'all seen that video of like the dude like who like they walk in and it'd be like a chair over sideways and they like sit down, bro. And you gotta just like, oh, what do I do, bro? It's simple. Pick up the chair and sit down. But while you're nervous, like you're not expecting the unexpected. You're just expecting it to go. You're expecting it. You're hoping for it to go a certain way. But don't even hope for it to go good. But don't hope for it to go a certain way. Like hope for just passing. Like just like expect something to be off, but you can still like, you know what I'm saying, like center yourself. Honorable mention that that didn't make the 4 is the fact that you're supposed to be there. So what that basically means is they wouldn't be sending you to the board if they didn't think that you had a chance of passing. Like if they thought you had a 0% chance of passing it, they wouldn't have sent you there, and the people wouldn't have, and the sergeant majors and all them wouldn't have gotten to their ASUs and sat down and got ready to see you come to the board if they thought you were just gonna fail like 100%. I forgot who I heard this from. I heard this from like some NCO a long time ago. It's like a board is basically a job interview for a job that you already have. So imagine like you go to work at a job. They look at all your credentials. They look at all your certs and everything. Hopefully they ain't using a napkin, but they look at all your certs and they're like, oh well, you're hired. They shake your hand, like you start working next week. But then they're like, but before that day, we need you to come in and do a little job interview and just go through the motions. You already got a job, but it's just like a little job interview just so we can say we did it. That's basically what it is with the board, the promotion board. You already have that. They already think you can be an NCO. All it is you proving to them that you can. Yeah, basically like what I just said. 1, master your knowledge. That's a whole bunch of studying. You just study daily, all day, every day. Specifically those 3 things: the NCO creed, 7 Army values, Soldier's creed. Speaking of which, the non-negotiable, they got like ways that you can see, ways that you can like remember it easier. Like the NCO creed, if you look at it, each beginning of the paragraph starts with the first paragraph starts with an N for a non-commissioned officer for NCO. Second paragraph starts with a C, NCO, and then third paragraph starts off with O. So that's the way you can remember that. First paragraph N, second paragraph C, third paragraph O. 7 Army values, it spells out leadership. Yeah, so that's super easy. And in Soldier Creed, like you just should know that, bro. I already know. You just gotta read that every day. 2, practice under pressure. The main thing with that is practice the actual fundamentals of like walking in, doing the knock, staying in your correct body language on your like bearing while you're doing it, because you're gonna be nervous and you're gonna want to move and you're gonna want to shake and you're gonna want to like not speak properly. Practice doing that with your NCOs. Practice your body language. 3, confidence. Walk in there confident. Say every answer confident, even if it's wrong. Just say it with absolute confidence. They can be like, what color is the sky? You can be like green, and they can be like, are you sure? You gotta be like, yep, Rod, it is green. You got to say it with confidence, because that's really a big part of like what they're looking for. Like sometimes even more than the answers, they're just looking at if you are confident in what the answers that you're saying. And that thing on your feet, expect it to not go 100% how you expect it to be. Expect like something to be off, but you still got to just rock and do it. You found this helpful, go ahead and hit that like, hit a subscribe, and I get out of it. You trying to be Pete.